This is an excerpt from Maradonia and the Law of Blood by Gloria Tesch. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, take it away.
In the story, The Law of Blood, I have the Princess Kriemhilde, and she's separated from Joey, who's in Tyronia, and she finds a plan to sail with the two griffins from Gorgonia to get to Joey, but then something happens, and you'll find out. The golden hair of Kriemhilde glimmered in the rising sunshine as the two griffins sailed now parallel and no more than 300 feet above the water. Suddenly, a dark cloud surrounded the griffins from above. All Kriemhilde could see were fast-moving dark birds. The Rockins had arrived and overpowered them from all sides. Kriemhilde, Jody, and Jolina, who were her two servants, screamed as these huge birds began pecking at them. The mighty griffins tried steering their way out of the swarm of nasty birds by nose-diving towards the ocean. While Artie, with Kriemhilde on its back, who is the griffin, steered his way around these bird clouds, he was forced to make a sharp turn and suddenly drifted sideways. Kriemhilde tried to hold on, but lost her balance. She tried again to hold on, but it was too late. She fell directly into the water. Ships were coming closer from the northeast side of the Strait of Tyronia. Gaiakralle, the Shadow Monarch and ringleader of the pirates, had detected the low-flying griffins on the horizon and had watched the attack of the Rockins. He commanded the captain of his ship and two other pirate ships to take course to the scene because he had noticed that someone or something had fallen into the water. Full speed ahead, men. Meanwhile, the flying griffins made a sharp turn in the air and saw Kriemhilde swimming in the water. Artie dove down towards the water surface to pick up Kriemhilde, but what he had not realized was that the first pirate ship of Gaiakralle had closed in, and the crew shot sharp arrows at the griffin. More arrows darted through the air. Then the Rockins attacked again from above. Overwhelmed by the power of the attacking Rockins and by the arrows speeding through the sky, Jolina desperately screamed, "Aquila, fly to Abilantis as fast as you can. We have to inform King Joey that Princess Kriemhilde is in danger. He will come and free her with his dragons." But the female griffin stuttered, looking back. "Artie will be fine," Jody said. "He will pull Kriemhilde out of the water and follow us later. But we must go." An arrow swooped through the air and stuck in Jody's upper arm. She screamed in pain as she jolted her injured arm. When Aquila heard Jody's screams in pain, she catapulted herself straight into the air and sped with all her power towards the coastline of Tyronia, and from there to the city of Abilantis, leaving her mate for the first time in her life behind. Artie dove again towards the water, now barely gliding over the surface. Kriemhilde tried to grab his long wing, but it was too difficult for her. The Rockins were commanded by one of their leaders, Bron Brandon, to concentrate their attacks on the eyesight of the griffin and to push the griffin down into the water as Gaiakralle's archers continued to penetrate the air with arrows, making it very difficult for Artie to get Kriemhilde out of the water. The male griffin flapped his large silver-reddish wings. He was fighting the Rockins, who attacked his eyes and tried to push him down into the water. The griffin slowly inched closer to the surface of the ocean. Kriemhilde tried to reach Artie again, but several black-feathered wings beat against her face. The Rockins were pecking violently on her as blood oozed down her delicate face. Another bunch of arrows zipped through the air, but this time hit the right wing of the griffin. Artie tumbled into the water. His feathers got heavier as more water sunk through his quills. Artie tried to escape, flapping his injured wings as hard as he could. Exhausted from trying to lift himself out of the water, he stopped flapping his broad silver crimson wings and left his beak wide open, inhaling deeply fresh air, several times. Then he tried once more with all his might and power and lifted himself up out of the water with his last power in the last moment. Just before one of Gaiacrulla's pirate ships arrived. The Rockins retreated when they recognized Gaiacrulla's pirate crew as Kriemhilde, floating in the water, stared at Artie flying towards Abilantis and quickly disappearing over the coastline of Tyronia. Kriemhilde's dream world shattered into pieces. She was suddenly alone. No help, only desperation. She did not land softly into the arms of King Joey in Tyronia, but instead made a big fall and a crash landing in the cold water of the ocean between Maradonia and Tyronia. Her beautiful dream had come to a sudden end, floating helplessly in the water.